Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Moharet and this is my YouTube channel, Mo Moon. Welcome. I have a pick a card reading today. So you pick a pile of cards and I read the cards for you depending on what pile you pick. I put a little object on each card to signify the pile that you picked. So the first pile has Lapis Lazuli as its object. The second pile has rose quartz. It's a pinky stone. And the third pile has lilac quartz. It looks like it has snowflakes in it. So I'll just go over those again. If you pick the first pile, you're picking the Lapis Lazuli. If you're picking the second pile, you're picking the rose quartz. And if you're picking the third pile, you're picking the lilac quartz. Now, I will put the timestamps down below for the piles. If you pick pile number 2 or pile number 3, there will be timestamps down below. If you're new to pick a pile of card readings, don't stress it. This pick a pile of card reading is called What Do You Need to Heal from a Past Life? And I have to say that this is for entertainment purposes only, but I do believe that I'm saying it because I want to make sure that nobody takes it so seriously that they do anything that they regret. So what do you need to heal from a past life? Sometimes we carry hurts within our heart and we have certain memories that we constantly come back to us, and it's strange because we never really experienced those things in the present life that we're living. So it could be that you're experiencing a memory from a past life. And usually something that isn't healed in a past life is also not healed in a present situation life. So in the life that you're living now. Each pile will talk about different past life situations for the present and what you need to heal now. But also I am going to be working on a past life healing method of helping people heal their past lives through the tarot. So if you feel like you want to know further about your past, know further into what your past lives were about and how you can heal them, you can just leave me a comment down below, and that would be good for me because then I'll know if you're interested in past life healing. I am not a psychologist or psychiatrist or even a certified therapist, but I do have a lot of experience based on my own situation. And if you watch any of my other pick a pile of card videos, you will see that I do delve quite deeply into psyche things of the psyche, and I do have a lot of knowledge when it comes to how to bathe those hurts in positivity in order to heal them. So if you pick pile number 1, there may be situations in the pile that maybe you don't resonate with. And if you don't resonate with it, meaning if it doesn't hit you right in the heart that it's true, then please don't make it a necessity to believe it for yourself. If it hits your heart and you feel like it resonates and it's true, that's probably because it's true for you. So if you feel that one of the past life hurts applies to you and I don't acknowledge how you can help yourself heal that hurt, please comment down below, and I will either point you to the part of the video where I was able to address that, or I can possibly make another video in regards to past life healing, or I can in a comment explain to you how you may be able to work on healing that situation. But I do hope that I cover quite thoroughly the past life pain that is involved with the pile of cards and how you can help yourself heal through that. Let me assure you that I have been delving into past lives for myself. I have had a past life reading before, a personalized past life reading, and I have done past life readings for myself. So it's not something that I'm presenting to you as something that I'm not interested in myself. I am very interested in past life healing, and eventually I would like to go into all my past lives and find out what the common thread is between all of them and what it is that I need to heal now. And in fact, I already started doing that. So let me just introduce the cards that I'm using to you, and then we'll get into the cards, the piles. So I have the Archangel Power Tarot cards. I have the Chinese Oracle. I have the Pagan Lenormand Oracle cards. We have Wisdom of the Oracle Divination cards. The Good Tarot. Pride Tarot. The Dark Mirror Oracle cards. Dark Mirror Oracle cards. Alice the Wonderland Oracle. So you feel free to get a journal or a piece of paper and a pencil and write down what it is we will be discussing. Let me just go over the piles again. So the first pile is the blue stone, Lapis Lazuli. The second pile is the pink stone, Rose Quartz. And the third pile is Lilac Quartz, the clear stone. So I'm going to move the third pile over here and the second pile over here, and we can get into our first pile. There we go. I have my plant here to keep me company. It's nice to have a plant keeping me company. So, what do you need to heal from a past life? With the Lapis Lazuli stone, pile number 1. The first card we have for what do you need to heal from a past life, we have Time for a Nap. Time for a Nap, card number 24, and the oracle face is here. See it? 2 eyes, a nose, and a mouth. Time for a nap. Perhaps you haven't been sleeping very well, and perhaps you have a lot on your mind. Perhaps, I mean, it's very possible, right, with the whole situation that the world is in, with having to elect a new president or vote for a new president, and also with COVID and kids going back to school, and perhaps you going back to school. I think that this oracle card, Time for a Nap, is pretty straightforward. Perhaps going deeper, there is something that's on your mind that has been keeping you awake for maybe a night, 2 nights, several nights, where you feel like you have had a progression forward based on what you have been thinking about during these sleepless nights. But it's also frustrating for you because even though you do know that you are making a forward movement with yourself, discovering these things that are keeping you awake and delving further into yourself, there is that frustration that, well, when am I going to sleep? When am I going to feel well rested? Can I take a nap? Or, will I constantly be taking naps, or will I ever get to really sleep when it's time for me to sleep? And so for this card, perhaps you're grieving. You could be grieving. Maybe that's something that is bothering you, is that maybe at night sometimes you stay up and you end up crying, or you end up wailing even. I know that's happened to me, where I've been awake all night, and eventually it's just gotten so horrible that I just started crying, and my partner woke up and he asked me what was wrong, and I told him everything was okay. And I kept saying it's okay, and then I realized it wasn't okay. And so I yelled out, "It's not okay," while I was crying. And so for this card, time for a nap, it almost feels like it's belittling to say, "Oh, well, it's time for a nap." Like, because it goes a lot deeper than that for you. Perhaps you are one of the people watching this where you resonate with the idea of not sleeping, and it's really somewhat of a mystery to you to be able to understand why you are having trouble at night, maybe with even fear, fear of the future, or fear of even the fact that you're in the present and you can't sleep and you can't stop thinking. And maybe sometimes you even have to take some sort of sleep aid, and maybe that doesn't even work. And so there is something that you're dealing with. And you probably carried it from a past life into this life, where it's causing you a lot of anxiety, and it's causing you a lot of heartache, and it's causing you a lot of pain. So there is something there where you need to delve a little bit further into finding out what it is you're anxious about, what it is you're afraid of, and why, and how come you are anxious, and what is it due to? What is the anxiety due to? What is the fear due to? What is the sadness due to? There's a lot of emotions that could be keeping you awake at night, just as a lot of emotions have kept me awake at night from time to time. So time for a nap is really about sleep. It's really about how can you regain your energy, how can you regain your strength, by allowing yourself to, even if it's taking a nap in the afternoon when it's not dark. Because there is also that fact that, I don't know if it's true for you, but I'm pretty sure it is true for me, is that sometimes when it gets dark out and I start to get anxious at night, it almost feels like the problems are multiplied, that they're amplified, that the fear gets so much more scary, the sadness gets so much more sad, the anxiety gets so much more so much more serious. Everything just gets so much more serious when the sun goes down, and you know that you're supposed to be sleeping with the rest of the world, so to speak, because some people don't sleep at night, some people work at night. But if you're one of those people that sleeps at night, when the darkness comes and you feel like it's time for you to sleep and you can't, it just gets that much more worse. So what do you need to heal from a past life? That means that there is something that you're carrying with you that you do need to heal. And because this reading is for what do you need to heal from a past life, I'm inclined to think that this is something that you're carrying from not just the current life, but a life that you were living in the past. And I feel like the answer to how to get through that, perhaps you do need to see a specialist. I'm seeing a specialist. Perhaps you need to see a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, or even your family doctor, to be able to figure out what direction to go into. I'm no professional, so please don't say, well, so and so told me to do this. I'm just basically putting out ideas that most people who are your friend would suggest. But I would say that before making any serious movements towards somehow allowing yourself to sleep, try to take a nap. That's the easiest thing you can do, is in the daytime, try to take a nap, and nap as much as you need to in order to feel refreshed and renewed and rejuvenated. And if you need to make an appointment to see your family doctor, or to go to a walk-in clinic and express the fact that you're feeling anxious, or fearful, or sad or depressed even, it is important to speak out. And I think that that's the biggest thing that you need to do, is you need to voice what you're going through. That's the most important. For me, I had my partner, and I explained to him what was going on when I couldn't sleep and I was crying, and it made me feel like I wasn't alone. So it's really important to feel like you're not alone at this time. Really find someone that you can trust and that you can talk to, who can give you sound advice. So for those of you who picked pile number 1 with the Lapis Lazuli, the second card we have is the Five of Michael. So this is also the Five of Swords in the traditional tarot. It says, this situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. So this is a more lighthearted card. The Five of Michael, the Five of Swords, or the Five of Michael. It says, this situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. And that sort of sounds belittling as well, because considering the seriousness of the first card for the reading, this one says, this situation doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. Consider taking a more uplifting approach. It's almost like someone saying like, oh, here, I'm going to put a Band-Aid on it. And it's like, and the Band-Aid is basically telling them that they'll get through it. Or the Band-Aid is like saying, oh, well, drink some chamomile tea, or, you know, have some hot milk before you go to sleep. It's almost like saying, this is not as serious as you are portraying it to be. I can help you fix it. Just do that. It's almost like a lickety split answer, meaning that it's like a very quick answer to someone who is going through something very difficult. And somebody might say this who isn't really thinking. And I think that this card is a beware of those people. Beware of those people who will belittle your circumstance, belittle what you're going through, because what you're going through, if you're going through what I mentioned in card 1 here with the time for a nap, it isn't a joke. And I don't think that I am making this more grave than it is by telling you it isn't a joke. I think that if you were going through exactly what I just mentioned, and not being able to sleep at night, sleep is very important. It's important for our mood. It's important for the chemical balance within our brain. It's important for our, to get our beauty sleep so we can feel good about ourselves. When you don't sleep, even things in the day become a lot more intense, and problems, they feel a lot more intense than they would if you were actually getting your sleep. And so with the Five of Michael, I feel like it's a card that's lacking emotion. It's a card that's lacking understanding. And so I feel like this is a card that says, beware of those people that want to belittle what you're going through, and who want to just tell you that it's nothing. If you feel afraid, just stop feeling afraid. There's nothing to worry about. That's the type of thing people would tell you, like, oh, keep your light on at night, or put a night light in your room. And I don't think that with that first card, time for a nap, and the fact that what you need to heal is also something that came from a past life, it goes a lot deeper. But don't think that if you want to heal the past life in this life, that you can't. You don't have to do past life healing in order to heal the pain that came from the past life and that came into this life from the past. Of course, it's very interesting to study past lives if you feel like you have had past lives. Of course, it's very interesting, but it's almost like a luxury as well, because it's very expensive to go to a past life regression healer. I've checked it out myself. It's very, very expensive, and that's why I'm trying to work on my own method to do that, especially for myself. I'm trying it on myself first before I try it with anyone else. But this card is the Five of Michael, and I think it would, if Michael could say anything to you, Michael the Archangel, he would say that you're protected, and when somebody is belittling your situation. So this situation that you're in with this person that might belittle you, it doesn't serve you. Release your attachment to the outcome. So release your attachment to the outcome means don't if perchance, the situation that happens at night, if you forget about it in the day and it hasn't really bothered you that much, this isn't to say keep dwelling on it, keep dwelling on it. It's not something that you have to keep dwelling on. If it arises, deal with it the way that you feel is best. If it keeps happening, address it. And as I said in my zodiac readings, a good thing to do is to write down how you're feeling. So release your attachment to the outcome could mean write down what you're feeling and how this is affecting you. And once you write it down, it's almost like you're releasing the attachment to the outcome, but not permanently, but for a time, because you're getting your feelings about how you are feeling in regards to the anxiety and the fear and the sleepless nights and wanting to take a nap. You're releasing the attachment to the outcome for a moment, and consider taking a more uplifting approach. So consider listening to perhaps some music that can be uplifting, maybe some solfeggio frequencies, or my friend introduced me to yoga music. It's called Soul Rising, SOL Rising. I think it means sun rising. So SOLRISING, and you can find that on Spotify. It's a very uplifting yoga type of music. And I feel like consider taking a more uplifting approach could mean that even though it might not be a permanent fix, you can consider, listening to some chakra healing music, which is the solfeggio frequencies, to balance your chakras and to feel more at peace, or listening to some sort of meditative music in order to uplift yourself, or even go for a walk outside in nature. I feel like nature is a very good way to add that relaxation time to your day. But yeah, really with the Five of Michael, I feel like it's beware of those people that will belittle your situation, and also take yourself into positive situations with the music and the documenting how you're feeling, and the going for a walk or doing exercise or eating healthy, trying to take care of those little areas in your life that add up to big things. Like if you take care of your diet, if you not diet, but if you take care of your nutrition, if you take care of taking a nap when you're tired, if you take care of limiting the amount of activity that you're doing that will tire you out even more. I know some people can't do that because they have work 5 days a week, and it's really it's a realistic thing to have to deal with. But sometimes work can actually take our mind off things that we're dealing with for a time. And so sometimes work is actually a good thing, because even though it's physically exhausting, it may not be mentally exhausting. It might just be something that you do with like your eyes closed because you're so used to doing it. And for a time, it could help you to stop thinking about whatever it is that's bothering you. But then when you go home and you have some time to yourself, then perhaps you can document how you're feeling in a journal or in a diary. The third card we have for those who pick the Lapis Lazuli stone is the horse. And so I feel like this is a card of encouragement. It's actually the yang because it's the white. So the yang is the white and the yin and the yang. The yin is the black and the yang is the white. And you have the horse. So the horse to me symbolizes strength. This card symbolizes what you have always been. If you feel like this resonates with you, if you feel like your heartstrings are attached to what the certain things that I'm saying, it's probably because you identify with what I'm talking about. And so for this card, I see strength, I see beauty, I see loyalty, I see freedom, I see like a free will, a free spirit. It's almost like this person is like flying through the sky with the horse, like this person here. And so it's that idea that, especially with the yang energy of this, it's really that light coming through you. You have a lot of light coming through you, and the spirit animal of the horse, maybe it's not the animal that is yours for your Chinese zodiac symbol, but it could just mean that the horse can symbolize what is in you that is like the horse. So perhaps the free will, like when you think of a horse galloping in a on a mountain field. You know, they're so powerful, they're so strong. And I think that this card is really wanting to let you know that even though you may be suffering from certain past life wounds that are reflected in this life, just part of your healing is to remember that you are like this horse. You are strong, you are beautiful, you are like gallant. Like when I say gallant, I mean like gallant. Like when I say gallant, I think about a horse like running through a field, like galloping and like just neighing and being wild and free and just enjoying like the wind going through their hair and just being one with the nature and one with spirit. And I really feel like that's something that you need to tap into. Remember this picture, remember this horse, remember that you are like this beautiful horse and you are free and you are wild, and no amount of pain is going to keep you down. And that doesn't mean that your pain is not there. It just means that you are stronger than your situation. So for the next card, for those who picked the Lapis Lazuli, we have the Magician, tarot card number 1 from the Pride Tarot, the Magician. So with the Magician card in tarot, it's really about making things happen. And I know we've had a lot of painful talk up until now, but I think that with the horse and with the Magician, it's really to tell you that you are the creator of your own life and you have the power to make the choices that will benefit you. You have the power over your own life. You know, you can decide to live your life and you can decide to take every day, one day at a time, and to really tap into how you're feeling one day at a time. And I really can't stress enough writing down how you're feeling. I really feel like writing down what you're feeling is the first step to manifesting anything. It's really being in touch with your feelings, being in touch with how your inside is telling you you're feeling, how the words are coming out from that pen or that pencil onto your paper. What is it that your subconscious is telling you you are truly feeling? If you were honest with yourself and you wrote down, "Dear diary, this is how I feel today," what would you say on that paper? And so with the Magician, it's really about taking the power that is yours with the spirit of the horse that you had here with the yang energy and really running with it, really believing in yourself, believing that you can heal yourself if you just follow your heart, follow your instinct, follow your logical mind. If your mind is telling you you need to get help, get help. If your mind is telling you, I don't know where to start, write down how you're feeling, see what you're dealing with. If you write down that you're feeling depressed, you need to see somebody. If you constantly write down that you're feeling depressed, you need to talk to somebody. If you're writing down that you're feeling sad and you're always sad, or you're sad for one day, it's one thing to be sad for one day. It's another thing to be sad for several days. It's one thing to feel happy one day and sad the next and happy the next. It's one thing to always feel happy. But the thing is, emotions are constantly changing. But with the Magician card, you have all 4 elements: earth, air, fire, and water, and what they represent. So you have your body, you have your mind, you have your willpower, and you have your emotions. And it's really about using all 4 of those things that you have to understand yourself and to start by writing down how you're feeling. You could even write down, how am I feeling in my mind, and this is how I'm feeling in my mind. How am I feeling in my body? This is how I'm feeling in my body. How am I feeling in my emotions? This is how I'm feeling in my emotions. How am I feeling in my will? This is how I'm feeling in my will. This is what I want to do, or this is what I don't want to do. And like I said, I can't stress it enough to really start writing down how you're feeling. I haven't been doing it for a long time, but I've been doing it for long enough that I can tell that it's really making a difference. So for the next card, for those who picked the Lapis Lazuli, we have 34, the King of Diamonds. So the King of Diamonds is also the King of Pentacles. And I feel like this is a koi fish in the koi fish lake over here with the people surrounding it. There's a koi fish pond, I should say. And so the koi fish is a very strong animal. The koi fish legend is that just like salmon, koi fish have to swim against the stream, and they go up the stream, and it's very powerful, the current of the stream, and they reach the golden gate if they get all the way up the stream. And when they reach the golden gate, they become a dragon. And as you know, dragons are magical creatures, so it's really about putting yourself through the discipline of going upstream when it's difficult, pushing through the difficulties in your life and not bulldozing over them, because sometimes there's an obstacle, you can't just bulldoze over it, you have to deal with it. And so I really feel like one way that you can heal the past life hurt of what you experienced with the sleepless nights in this life, I really feel like dealing with the situations that you're going through one at a time as they come. As things come to you, you can learn how to deal with them, and remember that the outcome for a koi fish, if they keep persevering, is that they will become a dragon, a mythical, magical, mystical dragon, and a beautiful dragon that breathes fire and that flies with wings. And I'm thinking of that movie Never Ending Story. I don't know if you've ever seen it. It's a pretty old movie, but there's a dragon in that movie, and he flies. And so, and he flies with a boy on his back most of the time. But it's really about with this king of diamonds is also the king of pentacles. So if I had to translate this king of diamonds Lenormand card to the king of pentacles, I would say that with the king of pentacles, it's really about remembering that you are the boss of your life. Your physical body belongs to you, but you have the power to do with your physical body what you want to do with it. If you want to put good foods into your body, you can do that. You don't have to spend $1,000 bazillion. Just go buy some lettuce and some tomatoes, or you don't have to buy organic food if you don't have the money for it. Just buy things that are not processed food. Try to limit your amount of negativity in the food. So I have been practicing vegetarianism lately, and I was hearing another girl talk about how when she used to eat meat, she would start to feel anxious, and it's probably because she said that a lot of animals, when they have to be killed in the slaughterhouse, which that already sounds horrifying, but they get very anxious and they get very fearful, and then we eat that meat from the animals that we're feeling fearful and anxious and terrified, and we put it in our body, and our body has to take in that energy from that food. So as much healthy foods that you can take in, fresh, it doesn't have to be fresh off the farm, but like raw vegetables, salad. It's not easy to change your nutritional intake, but if you really want the best for yourself in your life, if you really want to bring out the best of who you are and what you can achieve, take it one step at a time, right? And that's why we have the koi fish here, is because the salmon or the koi fish is like the salmon that in real life, the salmon has to swim upstream to lay its eggs. But in a koi fish's life, they swim upstream in the magical story to reach the golden gate and pass through the golden gate and become a dragon. But they have to go through obstacles one at a time to get there. Each wave against them is an obstacle. And so for you, perhaps each wave against you is, okay, what choice am I going to make now? What am I going to eat now? What am I going to drink now? How is this going to affect me in the long run if I make this choice now? Sometimes if you want to eat a donut, go ahead and eat a donut, but don't make donuts your everyday dessert for all 2 meals that you eat, lunch and supper and donut, because choices that you make now will be reflected into the future. And so I really do feel like with the koi fish, it's about taking those things that you are dealing with one at a time. Don't let them overwhelm you and overrun you and bulldoze you over, because that's not what the koi fish is about. The koi fish is about being successful, getting to the golden gate, and becoming a magical, amazing dragon. The next card we have is fragmentation. So with the fragmentation card, it's almost telling me, I want to say that it's about giving yourself to others. For this card, remember that we had time for a nap, and we had that whole situation of being anxious, fearful, overwhelmed, not being able to sleep. And I really feel like the progression of this reading has gotten positive. And with the fragmentation card, it's about giving to others. It's about, if you think about fragmentation, I think about a mirror or some sort of glass that has been shattered, and there are fragments of that glass everywhere. And for fragmentation, I feel like you've been giving so much of yourself, because with the fragmentation, we have parts all over the place. It's like, this is a personal card of saying that you give yourself to a lot of people. And perhaps that's something that you deal with from a past life. Perhaps you deal with wanting to be accepted because you have been rejected in a past life, and that's carried on into this current life. This may not resonate with you. Perhaps you resonate more with the idea of not being able to sleep due to anxiety, fear, overwhelm, and that kind of thing. But perhaps you can understand the fragmentation where you are always giving, and it's almost like you feel like you don't have anything left to give. And with that card, it's really about the fact that you need to balance your life. We just went into Libra season, and we also celebrated in the Northern Hemisphere. We celebrated Mabon, and Mabon is really about balance, because the day and the night are of equal length during Mabon. That's during the start of Mabon, the day and the night are of equal lengths. And so we talk about balance. And with this card fragmentation, it's about maybe the fact that you felt like you've been rejected. You could have been rejected in a really serious way in the past. Perhaps you've been betrayed in the past, or in a past life, and that's carried on into this life, in the sense that you feel like you're always trying to get from other people. You always want to be affirmed. You always want to be you want people to give you their affirmation. You want people to say you're doing a good job. You don't want to feel any sort of rejection, because you feel like if you have to go through rejection, that is what you're afraid of. So for fragmentation, it's about the fact that you've been giving so much time and energy to doing good for other people, and having them accept you. It's really about feeling a sense of acceptance, really feeling like, well, if I do this for this person, they're going to love me. Or if I do this for this person, they're going to accept me. Or if I do this for this person, they're going to, like me even, And so with fragmentation, it's really about the fact that giving so much to other people is not always the best thing, because it's sometimes you have to go within yourself and say, why am I dealing with fragmentation? Why am I dealing with always feeling like I have to make everybody happy? What is it within me that wants that acceptance? What is it within me that needs that affirmation from people, needs to feel like I'm accepted, hates to feel rejection because it kills you inside? And of course, rejection is never a good thing in my mind either. I don't like being rejected because it makes me feel like there's something wrong with me. And I think that's a normal way to feel. But I also think that there comes a time where we know that, yes, we may be rejected, but that doesn't shine bad on us, because if we are rejected from somebody, it just means that we were not for that person. And it seems like an easy thing to say, well, you were not for that person. But I think that we do have to accept that at some point or another, and say, I am whole, and I am good, and I am enough just within myself, and I don't need anybody else's affirmation or love or acceptance to feel those things, because I am enough within myself. So for those of you who picked pile number 1, the next card we have is investigate. Look closely, ask questions, think before acting. And I feel like that's another card to say that you need to look at yourself, because it says investigate, look closely, ask questions, think before acting. So with think before acting, I think it's really important to remember that I am not a special psychologist or psychiatrist or therapist. I am simply a person who's dealt with enough SHIT in my own life to know that that stuff exists. But with the investigate and think before acting, look closely and ask questions, I really feel like, again, even due to the idea of fragmentation and feeling like maybe the past life has a certain sense where in your past life you were rejected. It could have been in a big way. Perhaps somebody betrayed you in a past life. Perhaps someone betrayed you in this life and you're dealing with that pain again in this life. And maybe that's why you're so afraid of not being accepted, because you're afraid of the fear of rejection, because you dealt with it over and over and over again. Perhaps you've dealt with it several times in other lives. Perhaps, you're just dealing with it as a reflection of your current past life, or maybe you're dealing with it. You're obviously dealing with it now if it's resonating with you and you can understand what I'm saying because it makes sense to you and you've dealt with that before, that idea of feeling like you need to be accepted to feel happy about yourself. With the investigate, it's like what I said about writing down how you're feeling in a journal and looking closely at yourself, like as if you had a magnifying glass and you wanted to find out what the clues were for you. Look at yourself and find out what the clues are. Ask questions. You can even ask questions into your diary. Why am I feeling like this? And then you write down, I'm feeling this because such and such, or this is that. Think before acting. So also, don't allow your emotions to run over you in the sense that you do something crazy and that you'll regret. Think before acting. Sometimes our emotions can be really, really strong, like with the idea of taking a nap because you can't sleep. The emotions are so strong you can't sleep. Or with the idea of fragmentation, where the emotions are so strong that you're just so used to doing what people tell you because you want to make sure that you don't do anything that you weren't supposed to do, or you want to do everything the way you were supposed to do it so that people will accept you. The emotions are so strong that we let them control us. But think before acting. Before you make another step to try to get an affirmation from somebody, think before you do something that you don't want to do because you don't feel like doing it, even though you're going to do it anyways because someone asked you to do it. Think about yourself first and then think about the next person after. It's like when they say you have to put on your own oxygen mask before you put on anyone else's oxygen mask, because if you lose oxygen, nobody else is going to have a mask on who you can help. But if you get your oxygen, you can help as many people as possible. So it's really about, with the investigate, it's really about looking into yourself before you take any moves to make other people happy. So that's with the Lapis Lazuli. The last card we have is Page of Air. So the Page of Air is a messenger card because it's the page, and air is swords. But I really feel like with the Page of Air, I just want you to take a deep breath in and out. This has been a very serious reading. It's been it's been delving into past hurts in past lives and stuff that you're dealing with possibly in this life. And if you resonate with anything that I was talking about, it's not a joke for you. I'm sure it's not. It's not a joke for me. It's not a joke. And that's all there is to it. It's not a joke to have to feel upset and anxious and scared and accepting of ourselves, or feeling like we lack in ourselves. It's not a joke to feel those things. It's very painful. But with the Page of Air, it's a messenger card to say that you can take a deep breath, because everything is going to work out if you just follow yourself, follow your own mind. Let your mind guide you out of those dark situations. And sometimes it feels like our mind is the enemy. But let your mind, as you accept the light of that card with the horse, and as you accept the fact that you are the magician of your life, as you accept that you can conquer the obstacles one at a time, as you accept that you won't let people belittle you for what you're going through. You can fly, you can take a deep breath. The outcome will be that you will soar like this angel in the page of air. And the air symbolizes the mind. And sometimes we feel like our mind is the enemy, but the mind is going to help us too, especially if you need to get help from a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or even just a friend to talk to, because sometimes it's hard to get any of those things, I know. But even if it's just a friend that you can talk to, that you can confide in, and if you don't even have that, write in a diary. I really, really strongly suggest, if you can't find anybody to talk to, at least talk to yourself and write down how you're feeling, okay? So I just wanted to say that with the Lapis Lazuli, it is a stone that symbolizes the third eye and also the throat chakra. The third eye is really that intuitive part of ourselves, and the throat chakra is how we voice ourselves. And so with the Lapis Lazuli, it's also a stone of queens. It's to help speak one's truth. It encourages self-awareness and self-expression, okay? So I really feel like for those of you who picked the Lapis Lazuli, it's really about expressing yourself, finding out who you are through your intuition, and voicing what you need to help yourself through difficulties and pain and hurt that you have endured in a past life that has possibly even carried on into this life. And if, like I said, if you resonate with anything that I've said because it makes sense to you, chances are you're dealing with it. And if you don't, please don't take it and make it your own, because I don't want to, put a projection of something onto you that isn't you. If you feel like this doesn't make any sense to you, then it probably doesn't apply to you. But if you pick this pile and it makes sense to you, know that you're not alone, okay? Know that you can take control of your own life and you can write down how you're feeling. And I feel like if that's the first step you take, that means that you're showing yourself self-love, and that means that you are going in the right direction to be able to help yourself fully and to allow yourself to heal. Don't feel like you need to have past life healing to heal the past life hurts that have come into this life. If you heal yourself in this life, that is enough. So really focus on healing yourself in this life. Of course, if you don't believe in past lives, then maybe you're just healing the hurt that is in this life. But this was a what do you need to heal from a past life reading. But if you're trying to heal it from a past life, that means that it's in this life, right? Because if it's a past life that you're trying to heal, but you're in this current life, this is the present life. And so the present life, if you're dealing with this, it could be that you've been dealing with it from a past life. It could be that I've hit a chord and you're dealing with it in this life too. But really take action by helping yourself, writing down how you're feeling and really moving from there and delving into each topic that you're talking about with yourself one at a time, being patient with yourself, being consistent with yourself, being caring with yourself, and giving yourself grace, okay? Giving yourself that opportunity to not always make the right choices, but to be able to forgive yourself when you don't, and to allow yourself to love yourself, okay? So I know this has been a long reading, but I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye. Hi, girls and guys. Welcome to those of you who picked pile number 2. This reading is, what do you need to heal from the past life? A past life? What do you need to heal from a past life? So whatever you could be dealing with in this life could be something that you encountered in a past life. And it could be something that you feel like you need to heal really intensely because it's something that you've already dealt with, as far as it causing you pain and causing you hurt. So for those of you who picked pile number 2, you picked the rose quartz. So I'll just put that here where I'm going to put the cards. So what do you need to heal from a past life? Keep in mind that maybe this won't resonate with you in all areas. As you know, I am speaking to several people. So if there's something that you don't feel connects with you, don't try to force it to make it your own. Because it's not something that you want to force. The idea of being in pain and having a hurt is not something that you want to adopt as your own if it's not something that you're dealing with. But if it is something that you're dealing with, I will hopefully address how you can help yourself start to heal with the other cards in this reading. And if I don't, please write write down in the comments how you're feeling or how you want to get help, because it's really important to speak out when you're dealing with pain and when you're dealing with situations that are hard to deal with. Keep in mind that I'm not a professional psychologist, psychiatrist, therapist, or any of those things. I am a nursing assistant, but that's not the same thing as what I just mentioned. And of course, I'm a human being, so I've been through a lot of pain myself. Even though you may think that I'm young, I've dealt with a lot of stuff that has caused a lot of pain, and I have learned to heal myself, and I am still healing myself. Also, I am interested in finding out about my past lives. I have had somebody do a past life reading for me with the tarot cards, and I myself am doing that for myself now. So I'm working on creating a system where I can help people heal their past lives for less money with the tarot, but I'm actually figuring it out as I go, and I'm using it on myself first before I use it on anyone else. So for those of you who picked pile number 2 with the rose quartz, this is your tarot card reading and your oracle and Lenormand card reading. Okay, the first card we have is why. So for this card, let's just find the oracle's face. I'm trying to find the oracle's face, but I don't see it. No, I see an eye here. An eye, but I don't see the whole face. Oh, here it is. It's right there, the face. I'm pretty sure that's where it is. So the card is card number 31, and it says why. And it's there's a question mark here on the side, and there's a woman who's touching a book that seems to have wings. So for why, for this reading, what do you need to heal from a past life? Perhaps you've encountered something in this life that seems to have hurt you more than you were expecting it to hurt, and you're asking yourself why. Maybe something that you never expected to be so painful has happened to you, and you didn't expect that the wound would go as deep as it has gone. And the reason why this may be for you is because perhaps you have already endured that sort of pain in a past life, and you thought that because subconsciously you knew that you had already experienced it, so you weren't expecting it to cause as much pain as it has caused you. And it's almost like, because she's trying to touch a book, it's like the knowledge of having this pain happen to you before, with the fact that the book has wings on it, it's almost like the idea has just come into you that you have already experienced this in a past life, but you forgot how much it would hurt in the present life. Sometimes we feel stronger than we actually are, and that's not a bad thing, but it's also an important thing to acknowledge the feelings that we are feeling in the current life. It's important to acknowledge that even though you want to be strong in this life, and even though you still want to shove those feelings down, you want to take that pain that you're feeling in regards to something that you've been through in this life. It could have been any age of this life that you could have experienced it. You may have experienced it in this life as a child, adolescent, teenager, adult, mature adult. You may have experienced this situation sometime in this life, and now because you have surprised yourself with how much heartache this situation has caused you, it's almost like you want to muffle the sound of the pain. It's almost like you want to suppress the pain. You don't want to deal with this pain because you overestimated how it would make you feel, in the sense that you didn't think it was going to make you feel so bad inside, having to deal with this pain that someone has caused you. I don't know what the specific situation was, but it could have been some knowledge that has been revealed to you, because we do have the book in this card and the person is touching the book. It could signify you having found out something in writing, or some knowledge could have come to you, through email or on a voicemail on your phone, even somebody speaking to you about something that they know for a fact is true. And so now you're dealing with the pain and you're asking yourself, why does it hurt so much when I didn't think that it could hurt this much? For the second card for the pink quartz, we have Page of Gabriel. Energetic, brave, optimistic, playful. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge. Opportunities for excitement and adventure. For the Page of Gabriel, it's really about willpower, because Gabriel in this tarot deck symbolizes the suit of wands. And so it says energetic, brave, optimistic, and playful. It's really about having willpower, because one way that you can heal this pain that you have incurred with the why card, and asking yourself, why does it hurt so much? How did this happen that I feel so much sorrow or so much regret? With the Page of Gabriel, it's really about the message that you have everything you need within you to get back on your feet and to start again and to heal. Energetic, brave, optimistic, playful. Follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge. Opportunities for excitement and adventure. It could be that you feel like you're not ready to get back on your feet just yet with what you've dealt with, but this is just a future card to tell you that one day you will be ready for adventure. One day again, you will feel like you found your passion. You will feel like you're ready for any challenge, and you will feel like you're excited for the opportunities and the adventure that is ahead of you. But right now, the Page of Gabriel is just telling you to be energetic, brave, try to be optimistic, and try to be playful with yourself. Accept that you're a human being. When I say try to be playful, I mean accept that you're a human being. Accept that it's normal for you to feel pain. Accept that it's normal for you to feel sadness or regret, or any of the emotions that are causing you to not feel very good inside. Remember that these emotions, they are only temporary. You will heal. You will heal. I don't know specifically what the situation was that you went through that caused you to ask yourself why. I can't give you specifics, at least not now with the cards that we have. But I do want to say that this situation that, like I said, you were going through, it's something that you didn't expect to hurt so much because you had already been through it in a past life. So if you're watching this video, it's because I assume you're either open to past lives or you believe in past lives. So when I say that you experienced a situation similar to the one that caused you pain in this life, I suppose that you believe what I'm saying, and the fact that it makes sense that if you had already incurred this sort of pain in a past life, you would expect to be more ready for it in this life. And maybe that's partly why you're beating yourself up in this life, is because you kind of know that you've been through something like that before, even though you can't quite put your finger on where it was. And maybe you know that it was in a past life that you'd experienced that. And also the fact that it's a past life, that we're not really meant to remember everything about our past lives. That's why they're past lives, because we come here not really understanding all the details of our past lives. We come here really focusing on the present life. And there could be memories that you have in your mind, or there could be pictures that you hold in your mind that remind you of a certain thing, but you know you've never experienced it in this current life, but you know that you must have experienced it because it's something that the image keeps coming back to you, or the feeling keeps coming back to you, or the idea keeps coming back to you. And with the page of Gabriel, the page of willpower, is really about delving into those parts of yourself that keep coming back to you, delving into those memories that you have, asking yourself, why do I keep having this image come back to me? Why do I keep having this memory of something that I've never even experienced in this life come back to me? I really feel like I've already said this to the people in pile who picked pile 1, but I will say this to you because I really feel like this is the place to start. With the page of Gabriel being the page of willpower, I would suggest to you who picked the rose quartz, to really start writing down how you're feeling, really start writing down what you're experiencing, really start writing down your memories, and perhaps eventually you can go and delve deeper into them. I have said that past life regression healing is very, very expensive in my opinion. I can't afford it. So really remembering that if you can't afford something right now, or if you can't fix something right now or heal something right now, it's okay, because if you can't do that right now, it's because you're not meant to do that right now. And so with the brave, energetic, optimistic, and playful, it's also about being able to laugh at yourself. It's about being able to see the good in your life. It's about being able to say, well, I've been through this, and if I can go through this, I can go through anything. About being brave about your situation and being energetic, not letting the pain that you're experiencing, or the regret, or the sadness, or the depression due to what you've experienced, not letting it get the best of you. If you need to see somebody professional, start making the moves to do something like that. If you need to see a psychiatrist or a psychologist or a therapist or a doctor, or even a family doctor or a walk-in clinic, go ahead and start making the steps to start taking care of yourself and doing stuff like that. Or even if you want to go see a spiritual person to help you spiritually, whatever you feel is the best move for you to take. The page of Gabriel is really saying that you can make those moves. Act according to your will, act according to the power of your will, your willpower, and start making the moves to help yourself through this difficult time. So the third card is the Tiger. And this is the yin energy. So the yin and the yang looks like this, and you have the yin energy because you have the black on the tiger. It says tiger, but it's in black. So that means that this is the yin energy of the yin and yang. So it's to say that you don't realize how strong you are. With like the tiger, you don't realize how methodical you are. You don't realize how observant you are. You don't realize how magnificent and majestic you are. And that's something that this tiger card is pointing out to you, that you are magnificent, that you are majestic, that you are methodical, just like the tiger. You pay attention. You are a force to be reckoned with. You don't see that because this is the yin energy, so it's the more of the negative energy. It's the fact that you don't see that within yourself, but the fact that you got this card is to point out to you through me that you have all this within you, that you are powerful, that you are brave, that you are strong, that you are ferocious, that you are a fighter, and you can get through this. You can get through anything. You just have to believe in yourself, in this tiger energy that you embody within you. I feel like I'm yelling. Sorry, guys. I know, guys and girls, I don't want to be yelling at you, but I get really passionate. So the next card we have is the Messenger card. 5. The Messenger. So I think 5 is the Hierophant in the regular tarot deck, but in this tarot deck, the Pride tarot deck, this card 5 is the Messenger. And I feel like with this card being the Messenger, it's really about, you see, in this card it says a lot of things. Queers are, it says kill false, queers unite, kill false. I don't know exactly what everything says, but the people around have signs in their hands. And so it's some sort of equality gathering. That people are fighting for equality, and this person is standing up speaking. And so I imagine that she's speaking for equality for all genders and sexes and races and colors, ethnicities, all lifestyles. I imagine that this person is standing up speaking for those people that don't have a voice for themselves. And because you got the messenger card, it's about speaking up. It's about the structure of putting your thoughts on paper and speaking up for not just people around you, but really at this point speaking up for yourself so that you can do great things for other people. But right now we're talking about what do you need to heal from a past life, and we were talking about the situation that was causing you to ask why. And with the messenger card, it's really about because it's like the Hierophant. So it's about structure, it's about rules and regulations, it's about spirituality, of course, but it's about revealing things that are imbalanced. It's about, you know, worship. It's about who do you worship. It's about worshiping yourself, really. When it comes down to it, I really feel like the messenger card for you is about worshiping yourself. And because you had the tiger card, not really understanding who you are, but who you really do embody is the spirit of the tiger. I don't know what your Chinese zodiac sign is, but you had the tiger card, so I feel free to tell you what I read from the tiger card. And with the messenger card, I really want to say that if you stand up for yourself and you speak up for yourself, you can speak up for anybody and you can stand up for anybody. It's just about taking one step forward at a time. Start speaking up for yourself. Start speaking up about what you're feeling. If you feel like you need to express how you're feeling to the person that hurt you in this life, even though you've already experienced that sort of pain in a past life, if you feel like you need to speak up to somebody in this current life who has hurt you or has caused you that pain that has made you ask why, then go ahead and do that. Speak up for yourself. Talk about what you're feeling. If you have a relationship with this person still, or perhaps you don't, but if you do have a relationship with this person still, you need to tell them how you're feeling. You need to express how you're feeling. And I know that sounds like a really hard thing to do, but start by writing it down on paper, how you're feeling, and maybe you can read to them how you're feeling if you don't know how to express it when you get to the point of having to talk to that person because maybe you're so anxious. At least if you've written it down point by point or step by step or even in a paragraph form, at least you know what you can say because you have it written down. And I really feel like this is about standing up for yourself in order to do greater things and stand up for others in the future. So for those of you who picked pile number 2 with the rose quartz, the next card we have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of swords. And there's an anchor, card number 35. There's an anchor on this card, the 9 of swords. And the swords are a suit of air in the tarot deck. And in this deck, they are spades. But it's the number 9, and there's an anchor. And so an anchor, what does it do, right? It causes something to not float away. Like a boat, like a sea, like a ship. When they put out the anchor from a ship, it means that the ship is docked and the ship will not float away in the sea, and that it's actually firm, that it has its foundation, that it has something that will keep it steady. And so with this anchor card, I feel like it's telling you that you need to believe in yourself and the power of your mind. Again, we had the tiger and we had the messenger to speak up for yourself. We had the page of Gabriel, so the idea of believing in your willpower, but also a lot more than that. And the why card. What do you need to heal from a past life? Perhaps something that you need to heal from a past life is the fact that you didn't believe in the power of you. And when I say that, I mean the power of you to be an anchor for yourself in order to ground yourself. Perhaps you need to look into yoga or meditation. You know what I realized? I didn't know how to meditate until I realized that there's that pose where you cross your legs. You sit like with your legs crossed and your bum on the chair and your legs crossed, or your bum on the ground with your legs crossed in front of you, and you put your hands like this and you put your elbows on your knees and you just sit there and you don't scratch anything and you don't blow your nose and you don't move your hands. You just keep your hands in this posture, and that is you meditating. And you will see that you will realize that you're starting to focus on your breathing like real meditators do. And you can see how long you can stay there meditating with your hands like this on your knees, with your legs crossed, and your elbows on your knees, on either knee. And I saw somebody, her name is Gem Goddess, the Gem Goddess here on YouTube, and I saw her doing that pose on a rock in front of an ocean, and I thought I would try that pose, and I never really understood what the secret of meditation was, until I realized that I could do that pose and it would automatically mean that I was in meditation mode. And so I did that for maybe 5 minutes, and I had some itches on my eyebrow and I had some itches on my nose, and I felt like, I was uncomfortable in a certain spot. And then I realized that I was just disciplining myself to stay in that pose and to focus on what was important, which is the fact that I'm breathing. And so for the anchor, I really feel like perhaps you need to try to get into that pose and find something that will anchor you down in this life. Find something that will ground you into the earth, to be one with Mother Earth. Because even though sometimes we want to be all airy fairy spiritual, we have to remember that we are creatures of the earth. We are creatures made of what goes back into the earth and becomes earth again. And so even though sometimes we want to just be all about transcending and telepathic communication and astral projection, we are really human beings, and we are meant to enjoy this world that we're living on. And so I really suggest that you try to find ways to ground yourself, just like the anchor grounds a ship. That is one way that you can start to heal yourself as well, besides just writing and voicing how you feel to the person that might have hurt you, or voicing how you feel to yourself in a journal or a diary. Another way is to practice some sort of meditation. You could practice getting into that pose. You could practice listening to yoga music or doing yoga. They have yoga. You can type in yoga on YouTube and find out how to do those yoga exercises, which I just started doing today. Also listening to solfeggio frequencies, so chakra balancing music. You can always type in singing bowl or Tibetan singing bowl, and you can find music that will really calm your soul and will allow you to come back to earth. Another thing you can use is crystals. You pick the rose quartz crystal that has to do with the heart and balancing the heart chakra. Perhaps that's something that you feel you need. Perhaps you feel like you need to balance your heart. Maybe that's why you're asking why. You want to find out why this hurts so bad in your heart. And so it's interesting that you picked the rose quartz. The rose quartz also has to do with restoring trust and harmony in relationships and opening the heart. And it has to do with the heart chakra. So it's interesting how this is about restoring trust and harmony, because maybe somebody broke your trust. Maybe somebody betrayed your trust, and now you want to find out why, but you also want to heal through this time. So maybe somebody broke up with you and you never thought they would, or maybe somebody betrayed you in a friendship or lied to you, or maybe somebody did something that you never expected, like I said, for it to hurt so much, because you feel like you may have been already thinking about the fact that that could have been a thing. And so you had prepared yourself mentally, spiritually, and intellectually to encounter that sort of thing, but maybe you never really thought that it would happen. So that's why it hurts so much, because you never really thought that that would happen. So it got you blindsided. And the next card we have is Naked Before the Stars. With this one, I feel like it's really about taking off your mask and just accepting yourself and the beauty of who you are. I really feel like with this Tiger card, that is the beauty of who you are. I really feel like the Tiger card really sums it up ferocious, powerful, strong, brave, logical, free-spirited, creative. Even with the tiger, I think of willpower, the idea that it creates this atmosphere around it with its family members, and it's just, I think you had the page of Gabriel, which is the page of wands. So there's that spirit of creativity in there too. So maybe that's why I said creative, because I don't know how a tiger could be creative, although tigers create, right? Because the male and female get together and they have babies, so they create. But I'm divulging here with the Naked Before the Stars card number 18. I think it's really about being honest with yourself and finding balance within yourself again, because maybe you feel like you got thrown off balance, and the fact is that the moon is equal white, equal black, so it's either the first quarter moon or the last quarter moon, but it's a half moon, and it's equal black, equal white, so it's equal dark, equal light. And so it's really about finding that balance before yourself, really getting naked before the stars, meaning just be honest with yourself. Perhaps you didn't feel like this is how you would feel. Perhaps you didn't imagine that you would feel this way. Be honest with yourself. Say, wow, I was really blindsided on that one. I guess I'll have to figure out how to step forward now, and how to continue to, live with that pain that I was feeling. I really feel like I need to move forward. I'm going to be honest with myself. I'm going to be open with myself. I'm going to write down how I'm feeling. I'm going to speak what I need to speak to people to get the help that I need. I'm going to be honest with the person that hurt me if they're still in my life and I can talk to them. I'm going to give myself the time to talk to this person because I don't feel ready yet. Really being naked before the stars, I feel, is like before all of the universe. Come to the universe and say, I got nothing. I got nothing. All I have is the belief that the universe has in me, that I'm like a tiger. But otherwise, I got nothing. I don't know how to be a messenger. I don't know how to be an anchor to myself. I don't know how to use my willpower. I don't know how to believe in myself. I don't know how I got this pain in my heart. But I'm coming to the universe and I'm being honest and I'm being open and I'm saying, universe, help me, or whatever you believe in. Universe, I need help. What's the next step? What do I do? Being naked before the stars and just being yourself and asking for what you need to heal your heart with the rose quartz chakra. It's about the heart. So how do you heal your heart? We have card number 13. All must have prizes. Trying to please everyone. This is an interesting card because it's almost like the other card that I had in the first reading, which was about shattered glass, which shards of glass, and really trying to spread yourself out spread yourself thin to everybody. With the all must have prizes, it's about the fact that people need to believe in themselves. They need to prize themselves. Right now with the all must have prizes card, it's also card number 13, which is the death card in tarot. So all must have prizes. People need to prize themselves. You can't keep trying to please everyone, because you need to please yourself. Let other people take care of themselves and you take care of yourself. Not because they don't want you to take care of them, but because you have to take care of yourself first. I already said this in the last reading, but I'll say it again. When you're on an airplane and they tell you that the plane is going down and you need an oxygen mask, or whatever the situation may be, and you need an oxygen mask, you have to put that oxygen mask on yourself first before anybody else. Because if you don't do it for yourself first and you blank out or you black out, you can't put the oxygen mask on anyone else to help anyone else who needs help. And so this card, all must have prizes, is the idea that all must have belief in themselves. It's not for you to affirm to somebody that they should believe in themselves because you believe in them, because that's not the case right now. The case right now is, what do you need to heal from a past life that is carried on into this life? The idea that you were blindsided. Trying to please everyone is not going to help you right now. What's going to help you right now is thinking about yourself and speaking up for yourself. Okay. Sorry if I start getting all passionate and like yelling and stuff like that, but you know, when we're dealing with people and their pain, it's not like it's something that we need to be neutral about or level-headed about. Like, pain is not something that, as I'm sure you know, is not a fun thing. And if you're watching this video and you're resonating with what I'm talking about, it's because it's pulling on heartstrings and on something that you've experienced. And if you've experienced being blindsided or being betrayed, you know that it's not something to be, you know, to be neutral about. It's something that really hurts. It's something that, you know, you really didn't expect or see coming. It's something that you're asking yourself why. It's almost like you also want closure, and you don't even know if you'll ever get closure. But it's really about that tiger, knowing that you should believe that you are like this tiger, ferocious, brave, fearless, and be your anchor. Think about yourself. Let other people care about themselves. Talk about yourself to yourself before you can start helping other people. Believe in your willpower. And with the page of Gabriel, follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge. Opportunities for excitement and adventure. Follow your passion when it comes to helping yourself. You are ready for any challenge. If you've been through this, you can go through anything. You know, that's what the universe is telling me to tell you, that if you've been through this type of pain, you can go through any type of pain. And so you can believe that adventure is going to be yours in the future, but right now you want to deal with what you have to go through. But also with the page of Gabriel, follow your passion. You are ready for any challenge, opportunities for excitement and adventure. It's about also letting yourself feel those joyful moments. If you feel like, you know, you don't always want to think about this pain, then don't. If you feel like you have a day where things are better than they were yesterday, then accept that for what it is. Accept that you're being given a situation where you are being shown mercy and grace from divine, because, excuse me, they are not forcing you to always feel this pain day after day after day. The last card we have is the High Priestess. This beautiful card reminds me of the triple goddess because there's a triple goddess moon on it, and it's the High Priestess. So it's really about mysteries that are going to be revealed to you. And I think that with the High Priestess card, the mysteries that are going to be revealed to you, or that you are going to be able to glean the mysteries of how to heal. And when you glean the mysteries of how to heal, that is when you are going to become a healer. And when you are a healer, that is when you can spark other people to start to heal themselves as well, because you will heal yourself through this wise situation, through this betrayal that you thought wasn't going to be as bad as it was, because you had already experienced it in the past. So with the High Priestess, it's about really delving into your emotions. It's about allowing yourself to put your subconscious emotions on paper, writing out a diary or a journal, and reading it to yourself and realizing what those subconscious feelings that you are feeling are. So with the High Priestess card there. So I think I told you this is excuse me for my stuttering. This pink quartz, this rose quartz, is about restoring trust. So it's about the fact that you will have your trust restored, but your trust will be restored within yourself. And your trust in yourself will be restored, because you'll realize that even though you might have felt blindsided, that you chose to incarnate into this world and experience that betrayal or that painful situation, because you knew that you would learn how to restore your trust in yourself, and you would learn how to create harmony again in your life and in your relationships, and that this would help you to open your heart chakra, to open your heart, and to really help others with the Messenger card, to speak up for others, and to learn how to speak for yourself and to heal yourself in order to help other people learn how to heal themselves. So I really feel like you chose this journey, and even though you may feel like, no, I didn't choose this journey, it's too painful, I know I would never choose something like this, I invite you to believe in the fact that maybe you did choose to experience this. But I don't say that you knew it was going to be this way, but I do say that sometimes we are brave and we choose things that we know they're going to be painful, but we still choose them because we're brave. And so I invite you to accept the idea that maybe just like this tiger, you know, you were brave and you went into this situation with a brave heart because you are a valiant fighter and because you knew that when you came out of it on the other side, that you would be that much stronger and that much braver and that much more of a helper for yourself and for others. So I hope you enjoyed that reading. For those of you who picked pile number 2, and comment down below if you have any questions or if you have any comments, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. Hi those who picked pile number 3. Thank you for sticking around. This is your stone, the Lilac Quartz. Someone's driving really fast out there. All right, so this reading is for those of you who picked pile number 3 with the Lilac Quartz. This reading is, what do you need to heal from a past life? I have this little paper here that says happiness is an accomplishment. Happiness is an accomplishment. I don't know if you can see it. Anyway, I just thought I'd share that with you. I have it here. Sometimes talking about feelings can be a little bit draining, but when I look at that paper, I say how amazing I'll feel when I upload the video and people will be able to glean some information or glean some encouragement from it. So happiness is an accomplishment, and that goes for you too. Whatever you accomplish is what is going to make you happy. And what I wanted to say, what I said to myself, is that anything worth having is worth working hard for. And if it's worth having, usually it's because you had to work hard for it. So with that in mind, let's start our reading for those of you who picked pile number 3. Exchanging gifts is the first card. I don't see any negativity in this card. I think it's interesting how what I told you about how happiness is an accomplishment. So for exchanging gifts, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the Lilac Quartz. So the Lilac Quartz is a clear quartz with like snowflake looking veins in it. It's also a stone, a crystal that can be used to help your crown chakra, so your mind, and that part of yourself that talks with the divine and with spirit and connects with your spirituality. It is a stone that brings calm and joy and positivity. And so I get a lot of, no matter how much you may have been hurt in your past lives and how that might still affect you in this current life, with the idea of exchanging gifts, and the oracle's face is here on the box. With the idea of exchanging gifts, it's a very playful card. There's a little bit of mystery to it because, of course, the ballerina in the box has a mask over her eyes and she's playing with the cat. It's a little bit of a mysterious card because I'm not quite sure what this means for you in regards to what you need to heal from a past life. But I feel like this is a good way to start a reading, just because, of course, a positive start to any reading is a good start to any reading. But I really feel like this is something that we need to keep in mind. The idea of give and take. The idea of being open to receive love, even if we feel like we are not entitled to it. Sometimes we are reacting out of self-harm and we are telling ourselves we don't deserve love, when in reality, everyone deserves love. And sometimes lack of love causes people to be starved of love and causes them to do things that they regret in the future, or that they regret in the present, even because they may have just done it, and or as they're doing it, they regret doing it. And maybe they want to go back and start over again, but they already feel like they're so far into what they are doing, even though they're regretting it, that they carry through with it. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, where let's talk about like telling a lie. Sometimes you'll be telling a lie and then you'll think to yourself, I probably shouldn't be saying this, but you continue on with the lie anyways because now you're too afraid to tell the truth. And so I feel like with this card, exchanging gifts, perhaps it's just a card to allow me to express to you a little bit how I'm feeling in regards to this reading. With the what do you need to heal from a past life subject matter, it's really about whether or not you even believe in past lives. You don't have to, for certain, believe in a past life to listen to this reading. It's just that sometimes we have images in our mind, or we feel like we've experienced something before, like a deja vu. Um, and it's because even though we may or may not have experienced in this life, if we haven't experienced it in this life, but it's like a deja vu, it could be because you've experienced it in one of your past lives. And if you have experienced it in this life, but through a deja vu, like maybe it could be that you also experienced it in a past life. So it could be something that you're carrying out, like a pattern. It could be a pattern that repeats itself, because sometimes if we don't heal ourselves in a past life, we carry that pain in the next life, and it's almost like a self-fulfilling prophecy, where because we experienced this pain in this sort of situation that ended up like this, we almost bring it back on ourselves in this life. So with the idea of exchanging gifts, I just want to let you know that that's how it works. And even if you just want to heal something that you've been through in this life, this reading will help you to have the tools to heal whatever it is that you experience, that you're hurting with or in regards to in this life. So let's go to the second card. The High Priestess, Archangel Haniel. Powerful psychic insights, reflection, and meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. I don't know if it's possible to be reading for somebody who already has no more pain in their past life. I'm getting the impression that whoever you are who is watching this Lilac Quartz third pile reading, with this High Priestess, I'm getting the impression that you actually have healed your past lives and you are quite content in this life. But then why do we have this reading for you? Because this is supposed to be a reading in regards to what you need to heal from a past life. And so perhaps with the High Priestess, even though I'm getting the impression that there's nothing that you need to heal, the High Priestess is offering us an insight into the subconscious and saying that we all experience pain. Whether or not we feel like we need to heal in regards to that pain is really an outlook. So powerful psychic insight. I'm sorry I didn't show you the card. The High Priestess, Archangel Haniel. And there's a lot of purple in this card. Purple, the color purple is in regards to the crown chakra. So it's interesting because the clear lilac quartz that you picked, the lilac quartz, has to do with the crown chakra, because a crown chakra crystal can be purple or clear or silver or white. And it's interesting because the High Priestess card that you had is purple. So again, that has to do with the crown chakra, which is what the crystal that you chose has to do with. So as it says, powerful psychic insight, reflection, and meditation that provides valuable information. Be at peace. And so I really feel like for you, this reading is telling you to be at peace. Perhaps at this time you're not experiencing anything that's really causing you a lot of pain. I don't know what that feels like, because for me right now, I am trying to heal my past lives, and I'm actually working on a system by which I can use tarot to help people heal their past lives at a lesser of a cost, because past life regression healing is a lot of money for even an hour, and sometimes it takes a lot of hours to actually end up healing all the past lives, because you have to go into them one by one, I think. And so with this powerful psychic insight, and reflection and meditation that provides valuable information. Perhaps the information you need to know is that I'm working on a system where we can do that. So maybe you feel like right now you're not interested in healing your past lives, but for this current life, it is interesting to know that you have powerful psychic insight and that your reflection and meditation provide valuable information. So your reflection and meditation can provide valuable information for you and for others. So, whatever you experience in this life or whatever you have experienced in your past lives, those things can provide valuable information for yourself and for others. So, this card is telling you that you can be at peace. As the high priestess, really being in control of the high priestess is also together with the moon and the idea of maiden, mother, and crone, that a feminine energy, you don't have to be a female to have feminine energy. Males and females both have feminine and masculine energy, or whatever other gender you identify as, you still have masculine and feminine energy. And that spiritual part of you that is connected to the high priestess is connected to intuition and the crown chakra, like we were talking about. So the crown chakra is your mind and that which connects with the higher consciousness. Well, we still have a few cards left, so let's see where we go with this. Oh, okay. Well, we have the horse, but we have the yin part of the horse. So the yin and the yang looks like this with the white and the black. And because it's black under here, it's because it's the yin part of it. So it's the black part. So it's more about the negation of the negative part of what this horse symbolizes for you. So the horse symbolizes beauty, strength, willpower, determination, freedom. If you imagine a horse galloping very fast down in a valley or over the mountains or over the fields, you imagine the power in the horse. And so this reading wants to tell you that the spirit wants to tell you, and this reading is telling you that you embody the spirit of the horse. I don't know what your Chinese zodiac animal is, but I think that even though the horse might not be your Chinese zodiac animal, or it may be your Chinese zodiac animal, I don't know. But the fact that it's in this reading is to tell you that you are powerful beyond your knowledge, because it's the yin. So the yin means that you're not aware of how powerful you are. You're not aware of how beautiful you are. You're not aware of how free you actually are. It's about believing in yourself. It's about believing that you are these things and really acting out of that belief system of who you are. I know it's hard to believe that stuff about ourselves. You think I would believe that if somebody told me that? Of course, I'd love to believe that and I love to hear it. But I know that the act of actually doing those things is not always easy. And so even though I'm telling you that you're like a galloping horse who is beautiful and free and whose mane is flowing in the wind and who's one with spirit and who is brave, the idea that with the flying person with the horse, that's like you. It's like you embodying the spirit of the horse, and you just need to know that right now. Believe it in your crown chakra. Believe it in your mind that you are one with the spirit of the horse and the beauty and the freedom of the horse. The next card we have is the Three of Swords. So the Three of Swords is a card of pain, okay? Three swords going through a heart, not just one. So a lot of pain. And perhaps we needed to start out this reading with, the card that said exchanging gifts, because maybe you just wanted to know that you could trust that I would continue to read the cards even though they weren't making sense with what you need to heal from a past life. But I see now that you trust me because the pain is coming out in this card, the Three of Swords. So this could be a betrayal. This could be a heart-wrenching breakup. This could be I'm really feeling betrayal, because the thing is, sometimes we don't see certain things that causes pain as betrayal, But really, it is a betrayal because it's something that betrayed our heart. We put our belief system into our heart. We follow our heart. We let ourselves love somebody. We let ourselves believe in somebody or trust in somebody. And then, it's almost like our heart betrayed us because our heart told us we could trust this person or these people. Our heart told us that we could believe somebody or a group of people. Our heart told us that we could make this move, and then our heart got broken after we followed it. And so there's almost like a betrayal, but like a betrayal that happened that we blame ourselves for, even though this could have come from an outside source. It doesn't mean that you broke your own heart. Somebody caused the betrayal to take effect within yourself, so to speak. So what I'm saying is that somebody hurt you very, very, very badly, and you are blaming yourself for it because you think that you should have known better. So, what do you need to heal from your past life? There is pain in your past life, but there's also pain in your present life. And again, I'm getting that feeling like maybe you didn't expect this to hurt so much. You didn't really, it's almost like you were blindsided, even though you may or may not have thought negative things in regards to this person that hurt you, or this group of people that may have broke your confidence in them, because they betrayed you, or they hurt you, or they lied to you, or they cheated on you, or they did something that caused you all this pain in your heart and in your mind, even because the Three of Swords has to do with the mind as well. So I really feel like it's something that you try, in your mind, you're trying to make sense of it, but the pain in your heart is causing your mind only to focus on the pain and the regret. And so there is something here. I don't know what specifically it is that you went through, because this isn't that sort of tarot reading. This is a pick a card tarot reading. It's not a personal reading, but it's something that I feel like the crown chakra, with the idea of the mind, is really playing into this situation, because you did pick the lilac quartz that has to do with the crown chakra, and because you had the high priestess, and the purple is also the color of the chakra. You had exchanging gifts, and you had the horse in the yin sense of the reading. So with the Three of Swords, it's a card of a lot of pain. I'm not going to belittle it. It's probably the worst pain card you can get, because it's almost like a fresh, like for this reading, it's in the present. It's almost like it's a fresh wound. Almost like even if you didn't experience it today or yesterday or recently, it's something that it's still fresh in your heart. And when you think about it, it's still something that you need to heal, because it's still something that causes a lot of pain and regret in your heart, and almost brings you back to that moment when it happened, almost brings you back to those memories of being with that person and feeling loved by them. It's almost like a default, where the default is, instead of feeling the pain, you want to remember the good times. And that's okay, because sometimes in order to step through the process of healing the pain, we have to allow ourselves to remember that it wasn't all bad all the time. Sometimes a relationship can go sour, so to speak, like it can go break to a breakup, but you have to remember that if it wasn't all bad, there are some things that you have to acknowledge that were times where you don't need to beat yourself up for it, because you did experience some good times with this person or with these people. So if you experienced positivity with these people at certain times, it was almost like you were exchanging gifts, because you were experiencing a good time with this person and they were experiencing a good time with you, and it almost felt like the emotions that you experienced from the heartbreak, it's almost like, where did that come from? Where did all that pain come from? And it could be from the fact that the relationship is gone now. Perhaps this person that you are thinking about, or these people, are no longer in relationship with you. And so that's where the heartache comes as well, because you've probably heard this said that if somebody breaks up with you, it's almost like a death. It's almost like you're experiencing a death of somebody in your life, because that person, unless you remain friends with them, but after some sort of heartache like this, I don't think it's possible. But that person is almost like if they died, because they're no longer in your life anymore. So it's almost like you're grieving a loss. For the next card, we have the Six of Diamonds, which is the Six of Pentacles. And they're planting flowers. Is card number 2. They're planting flowers all together. She's preparing like a flower basket, and one of them has the shovel to dig the earth and put it into the basket, and the other one is bringing the flowers, and the other one is tending to the garden. So here we go. The Six of Diamonds, also like the Six of Pentacles. So for this card, the Six of Diamonds, though, it's a Lenormand deck. It's an oracle deck. It's about the flowers, right? It's about making way for the new. Right now in the Northern Hemisphere, we are September 23rd, 2020. We just celebrated Mabon, which is the balance between the day and the night and going into the darker seasons. But with this card, it could symbolize Ostara, because in the Southern Hemisphere, they're experiencing the celebration of Ostara and the spring. And so with the spring comes the rebirth of vegetation and of flowers and the planting of things. And this is a spiritual card for you to know that when something dies, like a relationship with somebody or a relationship with people that we no longer can be in communication with, there is room for something new to be planted. So it's about tending to your garden. My sister Rebecca sent me and the rest of my sisters, because I have 5 sisters and 1 brother, sorry. And I'm the 7th, but I'm the first. But my sister Rebecca sent a poem to the sisters that spoke about a garden that was supposed to be tended to, and the wind came to the garden and said, can I enjoy your flowers? And the person responded, I don't have any flowers. And then the wind responded, well, then I'll take the bramble bushes, and I don't know, the wind was going to take whatever was left of the garden. I don't know exactly word by word what it said, but then the person that was speaking with the wind, who was supposed to be tending to her garden, who didn't realize she had a garden, said, whatever happened to my garden? Why didn't I tend to my garden? And the garden is a metaphor for your life, because sometimes when something bad happens to us, we think our life is over and we just want to give up and throw in the towel, call it a day and just end whatever was our life. We don't want to tend to our life. And this card is to remind us that our life is like a garden. And if something in our garden dies, like a plant, it's time to take care of uprooting that plant and throwing it where it belongs, like, the garbage, or burying it in the earth, or making it into mulch, or using it to giving it back to the earth somehow, perhaps burning it and giving the ashes to the earth. But that plant that is dead, it needs to be removed to make room for the new life that will be planted there. And so just like the metaphor of your life being a garden, there are certain things that are in your life that are dead, such as perhaps a relationship that caused you this 3 of Swords, the pain. But there is room now for something new to be planted. Perhaps you can take up a new hobby like yoga or something else. Perhaps you can start your own business. Perhaps you can start your own podcast. Perhaps now that you have more time to dedicate to yourself. You can work on your own self and your own character and loving yourself and tending to yourself and tending to everything else that's in your garden, the friends that you do have, the family members that you do have that you care about, the relationships that you do have, tending to those, the self-care routines that you used to do for yourself, or new self-care routines. So with this card, the Six of Diamonds, the diamonds also being pentacles, it's very much about the earth, but it's also about you, because you are made of what will return to earth. It's about remembering that you're not dead. Just because a relationship died in your life doesn't mean you're dead. You didn't die. You are still alive. Touch your body. Feel your hair. Feel your head. Feel your hands. Feel you. You're still there. Everything that you had is still there, and you will get through this. The next card we have is Colorless Angel. But again, just like the last reading, the moon is in balance. And again, it's about balancing. There is a time to grieve and a time to laugh, just like the proverb says. There is a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot. It's true. There is a time to plant and a time to uproot. There is a time to laugh and a time to cry. And so the Colorless Angel is really about, even though you may feel like your life is now in black and white and not technicolor like it used to be, that's not necessarily true, because there's still that idea that everything is in balance. And when spirit or the divine takes something away from you, it will give you something else in return. I do believe that the universe is no man or woman or person's debtor. The universe will give you back what it is that was taken from you and give it to you threefold. The next card we have is Manage to be Glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. Card number 43. Manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. And so it's really about you being the master of your life. Manage to be glad. Create your own happiness regardless of conditions. And this woman, she has big blue eyes that are crying. But she's got whatever makes her happy in her hands. I don't know if those are skunks or something, but sometimes life stinks. But, when I say stinks, I mean, it sucks sometimes. But there are things that you have in your life that can make you realize that you can be glad, that you can create your own happiness regardless of conditions. And it's really a positive reading, just like it started out with the card of exchanging gifts. Perhaps you still have someone in your life with whom you can speak to, talk about what's going on in your life. I think that a good way to heal what we need to heal from our past lives and in this life as well is to talk about what's going on. Write down how you're feeling. Exchange gifts with people, meaning exchange the knowledge that you have gleaned from your life with other people, whether that be through a podcast, a YouTube channel, a blog. I almost don't know what those two things are. Blog is writing, vlog is video, as far as I can remember. So let's keep this lilac quartz there, the crown chakra. I really feel like with the crown chakra quartz that you chose, the lilac quartz, which has to do with the crown chakra, I really feel like it has to do with mind over matter. But it also has to do with, because sometimes when I think of mind over matter, I think of like ignoring the truth. But with the crown chakra being balanced, it's really not about ignoring the truth. It's just about realizing the truth. It's about seeing the truth and remembering that it's mind over what you think matters. Because sometimes when you're in the situation where you're in a lot of pain, like with the three of swords here that you had, it's really about logics. It's about logics. Okay, so this relationship has ended and I'm very hurt by it. What are the next steps I can take to help myself? Who can I see? Who can I talk to? How can I remind myself who I am and what my purpose is in this life? It's mind over what is mattering to you. Right now, what is mattering to you is the pain in your heart. Yes, deal with it, but also remember that you're just like this horse. You're beautiful, you're in charge, you're gallantly galloping. my gosh, I feel like Dr. Zeus. Oh, gee. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to express what a horse is like when it's running. I'm sure you must have seen those National Geographic videos where they have horses galloping, or even one horse just galloping, and the beauty of the horse and the strength of the horse. Remember who you are. What you care about matters, yes, and what your mind cares about matters, yes. But sometimes when we're in a situation where we want to hurt ourselves because we're going through so much pain, we have to remember what matters. What matters is that we don't want to die. We love life. Because you know what they say, people want to die until they're on their deathbed, or people want to die until they end up in a situation where they're worse off than before they tried to commit suicide. That's happened to people in the hospital that I work at. A lot of people have come into ICU having done drug overdoses to kill themselves, and they end up paralyzed in a bed trying to get better. That actually happened recently. Some people, they do drug overdoses and they end up surviving and they're not paralyzed. But the thing is, sometimes they don't survive, sometimes they do survive and they're fine, although they have gone through a very traumatic situation, or sometimes they survive and their mind is taking a big hit, or their body is taking a big hit, so to speak, because they can't use it properly anymore, and then they realize that their life is worse than before when they were incurring that heartbreak. And I'm not saying that feeling the idea of having to commit suicide is an easy thing to talk yourself out of, but if you ever feel like you're in that situation where you want to commit suicide, remember to talk to somebody. My friend Jackie, she told me that if you feel like you ever might be in a situation where you want to commit suicide, before you get into that situation, think of one person that you can call to talk to if you ever feel like you're in a situation where where you want to commit suicide, or drive yourself to the hospital. Just remember that no matter how bad life may seem, there is always going to be something to manage to be glad about. I've been through rough times too, where I've tried to slit my wrists. Maybe that's too much information for you, but I have been through rough times as well. I am happy now with my life. Of course, I'm working through things in my life still, but I'm glad I didn't hurt myself any more than I did. I'm glad that I'm not dead, because you know what they say, behind every cloud is a silver lining, or around every cloud is a silver lining. So the fact that even though there are days that are shity, there's always going to be better days around the corner. And so the last one we have is the Nine of Air, which is the Nine of Swords. And with the Nine of Air in this card, the Nine of Swords in the tarot deck, as far as I can remember, is one about being trapped and asking for help, or realizing that you need to ask for help. And so with this Nine of Air, I really feel like if you can ask for help when you need it, you will be free, like this angel soaring with the birds around her, and you will be surrounded by love. And so if you're watching this video and you feel like you need to ask for help, you're welcome to comment on my video. I know that sounds so lame. Like, if you need help, just comment on my video. No, like, if you need help, I'm happy to try to talk to you if you feel like you're in the situation where you want to commit suicide. I know that's not the best option, but I encourage you to write down how you're feeling before it gets to that point. And if it ever does get to that point, make sure you know who you can call to talk to in regards to that situation. This reading started out very positive with exchanging gifts, and I really do think that it is a positive reading, because exchanging gifts is me expressing to you how I feel and how I've been experiencing life, and how I think that I would cope in certain situations, and you exchanging gifts with me is watching this video and sticking through to the end for me, and giving me the viewing time that I need to grow my channel. I appreciate you as a viewer. I appreciate you as a human being who is going through difficult times. I know not everybody who watches YouTube videos feels like they are understood by the person who is speaking. I'm not saying that I've been through what you're going through, but I'm saying that the basic emotions that you have gone through, trust me, I've been through. And that doesn't make it any easier for you to go through whatever pain that you have to go through. But just know that this video is called What You Need to Heal from a Past Life. So what you need to heal from a past life for you is really about not blaming yourself for the pain that has that you've incurred, and really remembering who you are, really connecting with your crown chakra, with your mind, with your connection to your mind, writing down how you feel, writing down the steps that you need to take to start to feel better within your life, and writing down how you are going to take the steps to heal yourself so that you can help others in the future. Okay, so please remember that you can always leave a comment down below, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.